and I'm an NPS lover. Let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about my family start with our NPS journey, right? We love the national park system, and it's something that we've invested a lot of time and years and money and intellectual effort into. We love the park system, but it's not always been that way. When I was growing up, my grandfather had a home in Allens Park, which is just outside of Rocky Mountain National Park, and I loved going up there. But I didn't want to have anything to do with Rocky Mountain National Park. What did the park have to offer me? It was just like the woods. I could hang out in the woods at my grandfather's house, and mostly I enjoyed the interaction, the playing outside with cousins. I didn't so much enjoy the woods for the bark on the tree or for waiting for an animal to show up and then watch it pass. I was a kid, I liked the action, and that's what my draw was at the time. When I was 13 years old, my mother and my aunt decided it would be a great time to take this adolescent girl who'd grown up in Dallas in the city with showers and hot food out backpacking in Yellowstone National Park. As an aside, I'm going to suggest that if you have anybody in your party that has never backpacked before, is high maintenance, is grumpy when they haven't showered, is a food snob, doesn't like being outside, doesn't like bug spray, doesn't like animals, doesn't like nature, or is prone to anxiety, I would not give them their first backpacking experience by taking them to Yellowstone National Park. However, that's how that began. The short story on that was it was miserable and I didn't like it at all. There was a bear sighting. There was a grizzly bear. My aunt saw it, went right across the trail while we were walking, but she was the leader of the trail. So nobody else saw it. She didn't tell us at the time, but of course we did have the grizzly bear interaction. And why wouldn't we? We were a bunch of kids and we all probably had bathed ourselves in Snicker bars. We smelled very delicious, I'm sure, in all sort of animalistic ways. So that was my next experience with the national parks. So as you can see, there was no budding love for the parks. However, fast forward 20-ish plus years later, my husband and I each took our own separate independent trips out to different national parks. My husband went to Acadia. I had always wanted to go to Maine. Of course, when I think of Maine, I think of eating lobster and looking at a beautiful coastline and staying at a beautiful bed and breakfast. He went on that trip and I went back to Rocky Mountain National Park where I stayed at a beautiful bed and breakfast, and I went into the park every day. I didn't know why people loved the national park so much, but I also didn't have a lot of money to spend on expensive entertainment. So I thought it was a great time in my life for me to get intimate with the national parks and things that could be fun and free. I spent that trip hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park, and my husband spent that time hiking up in Acadia National Park. After that trip, we both fell in love with hiking. I hike a little bit differently in a less meditative, nature-y kind of way. I usually like to have headphones and somebody there that's gonna scare the bears away and listen for oncoming wildlife, and I know this is dangerous and not good practice, but my husband is there most of the time with me with bear spray and a dedicated ear for my safety. He loved the adventurous part of it. He loved feeling accomplished by scaling so many mountains. He loved the way that he was reconnecting with his physical body when so often these days we sit in front of a computer. We need that reconnection, and we both really enjoyed it, and we realized we had missed it for many years in our lives. The next summer, we decided to take our kids, who are about 8 and 5 years old, up to Rocky Mountain National Park and stay in a cabin outside of the park. I wanted them to have memories and experiences of summers in Colorado the way that I did. I wanted them to develop their own draw and connection to the national park. And what I found was available to kids their age at the park were the Junior Ranger programs. I didn't know anything about these Junior Ranger programs when I was growing up or prior to this experience. But we went in and found the visitor center, which was also fun because we love to buy little stickers and stuff at the visitor centers. And we picked up a Junior Ranger program. This is actually the program that we picked up. Within the program, they have a lot of different activities that the children are required to do in order to earn the Junior Ranger badges. One of those activities was actually to go to a ranger program. And in all my years of going up to Rocky Mountain National Park, I had never attended any sort of a ranger program. But with my own short attention span, it was probably great that my first experience was also the children's Junior Ranger program that the Rangers put on. So we went out at the time to Hidden Valley. They have a little education center there in Hidden Valley, that portion of the park. And we had the most wonderful rangers in this room. It felt like a kindergarten classroom. It was all decorated with different park items like pelts and things that had been collected in the park, and the Rangers created a fantastic interactive and hands-on experience for the kids, and my husband and I also enjoyed the experience. My son fell so much in love with this interactive experience and the joy and the pride of earning his Ranger badge that when we left Rocky Mountain National Park that day, he declared that he wanted to earn his badge at every national park. And for the last 8 years, that's exactly what our family has aspired to do. It's changed our lives, it's enriched our lives, it's opened our eyes to so many wonderful things that this country has to offer. And that is a gift that I hope that I can share with all of you, because there are few surprises that are left in the world that are so delightful as finding love in a place that you may have once overlooked. I'm going to go more into depth on the different parks and the different experiences that we've had in the parks, advice that we have to share, and I hope that I will learn as much from you as you might from some of my wild stories. Have a great day.